All right, thanks, Noah. All right, big question these days, sleep, and if you can kind of, yeah, how important it is, but also for the growing young teenagers. We'll go Dr. Anderson in the middle, start off this one.
As a general recommendation, 7 to 9 hours of sleep is recommended. As we probably know with most of our high schoolers, they may not be getting that much sleep. And I think with growing young athletes, getting to sleep at an earlier time would be highly recommended, and trying to not change your sleep patterns over the weekend versus during the week, trying to go to sleep at the same time throughout the week and getting up at the same time throughout the week for optimal health and human performance.
Dr. Spevak and I have this conversation a lot. So as a coach, this is my opinion, is that sleep is paramount. You come in, you work your kids out, you feed them. If they don't sleep, that was a wasted day. Because everything good that we want to have that's related to performance, that protein synthesis, that recovery, all of that happens when we sleep. Fitness happens while we're sleeping, and it happens in the second half of sleep. So if they are not sleeping, what they're doing in here as far as training, conditioning, eating, every day they don't sleep, that is a wasted day.
I agree. And I also would say that, I lost my thought, that chronic lack of sleep is going to really take a toll. And we see it not just in performance, but everything else in their everyday living, and not just their training is where it happens, why sleep is so important, but learning as well. And if you teach them a new skill, it's when they are sleeping that those motor pathways actually work on that skill and you get better. So that need for sleep, and you can think of, you finish your workout, right? You finish your training session, you feed them, you tell them to go rest, but part of that recovery and that prep for the next day has to be that adequate sleep.
I mean, I agree with all those things. Sleep is a whole part of the training process. It is part of the programming. It is vital to what health and performance is. So I also tell athletes, you know, if they can wear some sort of monitor, whether it's a Fitbit or a VivoFit, so they can see how much they're moving at night too. At least just they know if they got well rested or not. That way we can help work on it. But those are all true. Sleep is the most important part to recovery and the most important part of their performance program. So.
So a lot of my patients after surgery, they can't sleep, their pain's too much. They don't make gains. I don't see the gains they make after surgery. They're just up all night, they're just in pain, they're walking all the time, they come in, they're miserable, they're in more pain, everything's worse, their range of motion has not improved. So from my standpoint, which is tough if they're hurting a lot. Anecdotally myself, I was on vacation last year, sleeping in, playing at the pool. I set all my PRs and the highest weight I've ever lifted, which as you can tell is a lot. But 3 straight days of great sleep and my PRs, which I haven't matched since. And I told Jim after that, I'm like, it's the best drug ever. I mean, sleep, if you stack sleep up against pretty much anything, steroids or any drug that's out there, I think sleep is the top, in my opinion.
I have a question.
Oh, please.
Okay, I can talk. So a lot of times our practices are like end at 7 or maybe end at 9 or 9:30. And so like sometimes the girls have to get homework done or maybe they're just amped up from practice. Is there any way that you guys could find or good advice for them to maybe step back from practice to get to sleep? Does that kind of make sense? Like,
So you're talking about how to transition from practice to sleep?
yeah.
quickly. Okay, so you may laugh at this, but I have a couple of friends who are nurses who they have it's called sleep hygiene, and it's ritualistic, and it may be something like a hot bath, reading, sleep. But that is, what you look at is that sleep hygiene, how you prepare to sleep, how you clear your mind, the day's activities, and get into sleep.
And part of that sleep hygiene needs to be no electronics in the bedroom. The electromagnetic field and the light from that interrupts that REM sleep.